Breaking news affecting your bottom line. Just seconds ago, the Federal Reserve decided to hold interest rates steady. This is the fourth time in a row the central bank has decided to keep rates unchanged. It comes at a time when the two key economic data points used to make policy on interest rates are heading in different directions. The labor market remains strong, but inflation is growing hotter. Today's decision to hold rates steady also marks a new chapter at the Federal Reserve as new chairman Kevin Warsh takes over. President Donald Trump, who's been repeatedly demanding lower interest rates, nominated Warsh earlier this year. Warsh replaced Jerome Powell, as you may recall, who also was a Trump appointee. NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Cheung is at the Federal Reserve headquarters in Washington, D.C. today. Brian, what should we make of the Fed's decision?
Yeah, good afternoon, Kate. Again, the top lines here, the Federal Reserve deciding to hold interest rates steady as we expected. This is the first move under newly minted Federal Reserve Chairman Kevin Worsh, and they described the economy as expanding at a solid pace. They said the job gains have kept pace with the workforce, and they do say that inflation remains elevated, and they say that owes in part to the conflict in the Middle East. I think the big surprise here is the statement and how short it was. The Jerome Powell-led Fed in their last meeting in April had a 340-word statement. This statement is just half a page. Kevin Worsh has dramatically shortened this particular statement, and it is, by the way, a unanimous vote. It was voted 12-0, which is going to be a surprise when you consider that in the Fed's last meeting, there were 4 members of the voting committee that said they didn't support that action. Now, again, how does that happen, even though 3 of those 4 people are still on the Fed board? We will have to see. As far as where the Fed goes from here, we don't have any insight into how the Fed is thinking in the future from this press release because it's so short, but we did get these economic projections that are still part of the Fed's operating structure, at least right now. 9 people see hikes coming down the pike. How will Kevin Worsh square that as the president does call for lower interest rates? We'll have to see. Press conference at 2:30, Kate.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the press conference because you're in the room there, Brian. The chairman has said that he wants to make some changes to how the central bank operates. What will you be listening for? What would you want to ask?
I mean, Kate, we're seeing it already. I've been following the Federal Reserve for, the better part of 10 years now, and I have never seen a statement that is this short. There's been a lot of color that has been cut out of this press release. Again, not to say that we won't have the opportunity to get some of those answers. We'll just have to get that from the press conference. We'll see if he changes that as well. But the Kevin Worsh-led Fed, which is, we already heard from Worsh that he suggested he wants to see reduced communications from the Fed, more efficient communications. It seems like that is happening already before he even took the podium for his first press conference.
All right, Brian Cheung for us. Brian, thank you.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.